It is after hours on Tuesday, June 13, 2017. Account value is 102K and a little something. I'm still long LabU, the leveraged ETF on biotech. On the ETF XBI, I own 1,000 shares. Bought those guys at $50.99, I think was the price. And I own 525 shares of SOXL. That's the leveraged ETF on the SOX on semiconductors. I paid for those guys $96.95. In total, those positions are slightly in the green by $600 or so. This is the Nasdaq. This was the tankage here on Friday. We saw that new low on Monday, and we are now inching higher, and I think it's just a matter of time until we make a move towards new highs again, because this was nothing more than a shakeout. At least that is my belief, and that is the only reason why I am still long both of those positions, because, I mean, I love the relative strength here in biotech, and that is LabU. I think this guy will sooner or later break out, but it's actually better if we look at the underlying ETF, which is XBI, and if we then zoom out a little bit, becomes more obvious in what range we have been for quite some time. This here was end of February, so we've been stuck here in a pretty narrow range for a while, and that we are holding up at the top of the range while the Nasdaq was selling off, that's a very good sign. So I believe the next 2 to 5% will happen when the Nasdaq makes that move towards all-time highs. Then let's take a look at our semiconductors. SOX, we're long the leveraged ETF SOXL, and I believe we are in a secular bull market, and this is just a blip and nothing more than that. A nice shakeout, then a pretty hammer here, and today it was kind of muted. I mean, we are up 0.7%, and let's compare that to the Nasdaq real quick. Okay, we are up in line with the market, so it's muted. There was no relative strength or weakness, but I do believe that odds favor the upside, and I don't want to abandon the trade before the move actually materialized, because I would buy the position again today, and that is the only thing that matters. I know a lot of people they evaluate. No, let me rephrase that. I know it is natural for us humans, for us people, to evaluate our positions based on our entry price, because that's where our loss or profit is determined from. But it is actually irrelevant information. The only thing that matters is where does price go from here, and if you have that mindset, then you avoid getting what people then say, oh, I am stuck. There is no such thing as being stuck in a position. Being stuck is only in your mind that, oh, I cannot sell because I'm right now underwater. But that is, it's a very dangerous mindset, and that usually leads to zero. One reason why I still like the SOX is because NVIDIA traded well into the close, and I think that is the most important stock in the sector, and it's coming off those lows. It's not breaking this low here again today. It made a higher low, and once it takes out 155, it will probably go back to the highs. That is at least what I believe. I'm a big believer in the secular bull market in semiconductors, in chips, because chips will be everywhere, not just in our phones and in our cars, but in everything, and it will get even worse going forward, because there is going to be a cryptocurrency, a blockchain revolution that will dwarf what happened in the 90s, in the dot-com era, because it will be bigger than the internet. And I am not saying that lightly. I've done a lot of research on it. I understand what you can do. No, I understand just a fraction of what is possible with that blockchain technology, and so many things we will just figure out over time. I will make another video about it, why I am so excited what is going to happen the next few years, because there will be so many opportunities, and we need to address it. I know it is like gruesome. I don't even know if that's the right word, but because it sounds so technical, and if you're not a tech-savvy guy, not a programmer, or if you are born in a year that starts with 19, then it might be scary to tackle it. But I think once we understand it, and I believe I can explain it in simple terms, that it makes sense to anybody, then it becomes evident what is actually possible. And a lot of people, they just put it off and think that it's just stupid internet money. It's way more than that. Okay, I'm getting off topic here. So I'm liking the way NVIDIA is trading, and the stocks will follow. That is what I think is going to happen, and that's why I want to stay long SOXL. But tomorrow we have the big Fed day, and the way GDXJ today was trading was, again, awesome. I mean, talk about relative strength. This one day last week, it was not a fluke. Since then, there is, from relative weakness that we did see in GDXJ, it made a 180, and this is what I call relative strength. I mean, look what has happened to gold. It made a round trip, and look what GDXJ did. I mean, it's just, it is screaming that it is yelling at us. I want to go higher, despite that rate hike that is coming tomorrow. So what I am hoping is that we get a dip, that we get a shakeout before the hike is coming, that people who are currently long, junior miners, that they get shaken out. And if we do see a dip, even before the hike, I will throw at least half of the account at it. Then I want to see how the market reacts to the hike, and then potentially throw a second bullet at it. But that is at least the game plan, and obviously I cannot have a recap without mentioning my favorite name, Tesla. I mean, talk about gorgeous price action. Unbelievable how it held the 350 level here pre-market and at the open yesterday like a boss, and now it is already making new highs. It's just incredible, and the people who are shorting it also do not understand how this thing trades. It's just amazing, and it's so much more than cars, than solar, and then batteries. It's way more. It's right. It's the Elon, right? And I know that doesn't make sense for everybody, but I think this goes to 400, and it probably won't stop at 400. So yeah, just picture perfect. So tomorrow, if we see any kind of spike early on in the day in the Nasdaq and in LabVIEW or in SOXL, I will take chips off the table so that I am ready to attack if there is an opportunity in JNUG, because I think there is where the action is going to be tomorrow. The Fed rate hike is already baked in. It is all about the statement, and the Fed is more concerned about inflation because that's what it wants to create, and it doesn't want to kill inflation by raising rates too much. So I am almost certain that we will see a dovish rate hike, and I think that will be enough for GDXJ to spike higher. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow with another recap, and I'll let you know whenever I close any of the positions or I jump into JNUG.